Chapter 1. Coming Home. Lucy Miller hadn't been home in 10 years. After college, she moved to New York City to chase her dreams of becoming a fashion designer. She had some success, but she was always exhausted and lonely. When her grandmother passed away and left her a small cafe in the town of Maple Creek, Lucy decided it was time for a change. She packed her bags and drove 12 hours back to the place where she grew up. Maple Creek was exactly as she remembered. The same brick buildings lined Main Street. The same oak trees shaded the sidewalks. The same church bell rang every hour. The cafe was called Morning Glory, and it sat on the corner of Main and Oak. Lucy parked her car and looked at the old building. The paint was peeling, the windows were dirty, but somehow it was beautiful. She unlocked the door and stepped inside. The smell of coffee and cinnamon filled her nose. Her grandmother's recipes still hung on the wall. Her grandfather's old piano sat in the corner. Lucy sat down at the counter and cried. She missed her grandmother terribly. But she also felt something she hadn't felt in years: hope. "I can do this," she whispered to herself. "I can make this place wonderful again." She didn't know yet that her life was about to change completely. She didn't know that the boy she had loved in high school now lived 3 blocks away. And she didn't know that by opening this cafe, she would finally find everything she had been searching for. Chapter 2. The Reunion. Lucy spent 2 weeks cleaning and painting the cafe. She fixed the broken chairs, replaced the old light bulbs, and planted flowers in the window boxes. Every day, neighbors stopped by to welcome her home. On opening day, she woke up at 4 in the morning. She baked her grandmother's famous cinnamon rolls and brewed fresh coffee. By 6 o'clock, everything was ready. Her first customer arrived at 6:15. The door opened and Lucy looked up with a smile. Then she froze. It was James Cooper, the same James Cooper who had been her boyfriend in high school. The same James Cooper who had broken her heart when she left for college. He was taller now, with broader shoulders and a few gray hairs at his temples. But his eyes were the same, warm and kind, the color of honey in sunlight. "Lucy?" he said, equally surprised. "I heard someone bought the cafe, but I didn't know it was you." "Hello, James." Her voice was calm, but her heart was racing. "What can I get you?" "Just coffee, please. Black." She poured his coffee with shaking hands. He sat at the counter and watched her. "You look good," he said softly. "The city treated you well." "It was fine, busy, lonely sometimes." She paused. "What about you? I heard you became a veterinarian." "I did. I have a clinic on Pine Street. Mostly cats and dogs, but sometimes I help the farmers with their animals too." They talked until other customers arrived. When James left, he promised to come back tomorrow. Lucy smiled all day. Chapter 3. Old Wounds. James came to the cafe every morning. They talked about their lives, their dreams, and their regrets. But they never talked about what happened 10 years ago. One rainy Tuesday, the cafe was empty. James sat at his usual spot while Lucy wiped down the tables. "Can I ask you something?" he said. "Of course. Why didn't you come back? After college, I mean." "I waited for 2 years. I wrote you letters." Lucy stopped wiping. "I got the letters. All 37 of them. Then why didn't you respond? She sat down across from him. Because I was scared. I loved you so much, James, but I also loved my dreams. I thought if I came back, I would lose myself. I thought I had to choose between you and my future. You didn't have to choose. I would have supported you. We could have figured it out together. Tears filled her eyes. I know that now. I was young and stupid and afraid. I'm sorry, James. I'm so sorry for hurting you. He reached across the table and took her hand. I was hurt, but I also understood. You needed to fly. I couldn't be the one to hold you down. They sat in silence, holding hands, listening to the rain. Something shifted between them. The old wound began to heal. I'm not the same person I was, Lucy said. I've learned what matters. Family, home, love. James squeezed her hand. Neither am I. Maybe we can start again. Slowly. No expectations. Lucy smiled through her tears. I'd like that. Chapter 4. Growing Together. Spring turned to summer, and Lucy's Café became the heart of Maple Creek. People came for her grandmother's recipes and stayed for the warm atmosphere. The piano played again on Friday nights when local musicians performed. James was there for most of it. He helped her build a new outdoor patio. He brought her flowers from his mother's garden. He introduced her to his patients, especially a 3-legged dog named Charlie, who became their unofficial mascot. Their relationship grew slowly, like a garden in spring. First dates at the drive-in theater, long walks by the river, Sunday dinners with his family. Every day, Lucy fell a little more in love. But doubts crept in sometimes. What if she got restless again? What if small-town life became too small? What if she hurt him again? One evening, she shared her fears with James. They were sitting on the cafe porch, watching fireflies dance in the twilight. I'm afraid, she admitted. I'm afraid I'll mess this up. James put his arm around her. Everyone's afraid sometimes, but you're not the same person who left. You came back because you wanted to. That means something. What if it's not enough? Then we'll figure it out together. That's what love is, Lucy. It's not perfect. It's two imperfect people choosing each other every day. She leaned into him and watched the stars appear one by one. For the first time in years, she felt truly at peace. Maybe she didn't have to choose between her dreams and her heart. Maybe, with the right person, she could have both. Chapter 5. Forever. The cafe celebrated its first anniversary on a perfect September day. Lucy decorated with sunflowers and golden ribbons. The whole town came to celebrate. James arrived late, looking nervous. He was wearing a nice shirt and his best shoes. Lucy noticed, but said nothing. After the crowd sang "Happy Anniversary," James asked for everyone's attention. The room fell silent. Most of you know me, he said, and most of you know Lucy. What you might not know is that I've loved her since we were 16 years old. Lucy's heart stopped. James walked toward her, reaching into his pocket. We took the long road to get here. 10 years apart, countless missed chances, and a lot of lonely nights. But I believe everything happened for a reason. We both needed to grow. We both needed to learn. And now we're finally ready. He knelt down on one knee. The crowd gasped. Lucy covered her mouth with her hands. "Lucy Miller, you are my best friend, my first love, and my greatest adventure. Will you marry me?" She couldn't speak. Tears streamed down her face. She nodded yes, then found her voice. "Yes, yes, of course, yes!" The cafe erupted in cheers. James slipped a simple diamond ring on her finger and kissed her while everyone applauded. Later that night, after the guests had gone home, Lucy and James sat alone at the counter. "So what now?" she asked. He smiled. "Now we have the rest of our lives together." Outside, the lights of Morning Glory Café glowed warmly in the darkness. And inside, two hearts that had finally found their way home beat as one.